Hey friends. So for those of you that have been around Stampin' Up! Or even just around Stampin' for a while, you probably remember these wheels. And that was something fun that we used to use. And you would put the wheel inside of this case and then you could roll it. We even had little inks that you could put down in here. I'm not going to demonstrate those today, but the wheels were a great way to make a background for your card very quickly. So I'm going to show you just a couple today and show you how you could, if you don't have wheels, how you could kind of duplicate that now. So let's say I want to make a Halloween card. Okay, so I've got this card. I could just mat it with white and stick that on there. Okay, and I already put the little pumpkin on here, but it's kind of plain. So I could take my wheel back in the day and either put the black ink in here or I could roll it on there and I could, these are the little spiders and I just think they're so cute. So you could do that, and then once you pop it on there, now it looks way more like a Halloween card. All right, but what happens if you don't have a wheel? If you're not able to just, and I'm going to show you a wheel actually in a minute, but wonder if you don't have that. Well, I stamped a couple of spiders here. And I could then just take my pen, and remember on this side, it had the lines coming down like at the end of the spider, and it's got all these dots around. So I could just take my pen and draw the line down to the spider. Okay. You could get the same effect. All right, and then for the dots, again, remember, this one had all these dots on it, and it's the dots I want to really talk about when we're doing these today too, because it's kind of the dots that make it. So you could either, that one doesn't have a good tip on it, you could either take your pen and just make dots. See how that looks? I mean, it just gives it a little something. Or here's another blast from the past. If you had one of these, which was a color spritzer tool, you could take a pen, marker, and you could line it up with the end of that. And you could use that to spritz some color on your card. So if you've got one of these, you might remember to pull it out. And can you see just the little orange? It gives you the very faint little dots all over. So that would be a cool way to kind of simulate a wheel if you don't have any. So this card, we could put the wheel on there. We could pop that on there, and that one would be done. All right, so let's look now at another wheel. This one was a beachy scene. All right, so we have all these shells, and it looks like it's on a beach. So I just rolled those out, and I would mount that on here. And then I had already prepared a little thinking of you. I might pop that up. But you see, I mean, even if I have a piece of decorative white paper, it still looks kind of plain. I love having the wheel as the background. Now, what happens if you don't have a wheel? Well, I took the Seaside Notions and I just stamped it. And then to simulate, again, the dots. Can you see all these little dots on here? Do you see that? It's something with these dots, I'm telling you, that I just love. So on this one, excuse me, I then took these, which made me able to simulate those dots. Then I could pop that on there, and I just think it gives it something extra. Okay, so for the third one, we had two size wheels. So you can see the thinner one is what I used before. This time I'm going to use the wider wheel. All right, and I'm going to show you how we would make these work. So if you put the ink in there, you could continue to roll forever. If you wanted to ink it from the pad like I'm doing now, then you would just get about one card's width. But see how quick and easy this was to be able to do that? Okay, and then I would end up with a background. Now, in order to simulate that one, I thought, well, I could take the leaf from the Painted Poppies And then you could, if you wanted to use that splat there, you could use that to get your, see how this one's kind of got these dots around too? Something with those dots. And you could put some of the splat on there. You could use the pen like we did before. You could use the spritzer tool. But another thing you can do, and pardon me because this is live, so I took a couple of drops of the re-inker and put into a bottle with a little bit of water. And I could then just spray that. Can you see the color? Okay, so that doesn't give me as good of a, like separate dots, but can you see that that gives it kind of an all over sheen? If you don't have a spritzer, you could also just take a drop of the re-inker on one of your glass blocks and then take a paintbrush or the water marker. Pick a little bit of that up. And then if you'll take it like this, you can put it right over your finger, and this paper's getting, so see how you can make your dots like that too? I really like that when I do it like this. It gives it kind of just a random spray. So for this card, I would, since I can't, there we go, I can use this side even though it's a little bit wet. I would then put my, maybe the flower on there and pop that up. So if you have your wheels, remember that they're an excellent way to get a quick background. If you don't have a wheel, remember you can easily stamp your own background. And then don't forget about putting all the different kinds of dots, whether you stamp them like we did here with that stamp, whether you spritz it or, you know, tap it over your finger, or whether you make the dots yourself with an ink pen, or use a spritzer tool if you have that. Great ways to use some of your things that you might have in the closet you haven't used for a while, your wheels, your spritzer tool, and so forth. So I hope that everybody has a great day and that you're staying safe. Take care.